Hi guys, in today's video I show off, I crash a Mavic, I fix a Mavic, give away a DJI cap. Let's get into it. Last week I was flying around at the park doing some fixed wing flying, and when I got back to my vehicle there was another guy flying a $200 little drone, actually quite a big drone, but he was sort of saying that I just walked past, I showed him the Mavic, and he said, it's not really worth the money, that the $200 drone can do whatever the Mavic can do. And then I thought, no, that's not quite right. So I had a little bit of battery left, so I thought I'll just quickly show him what the Mavic can do. So I did some fixed wing things flying around, I did some loopy-loop things, and flew towards myself and him, and I showed him that the front sensors would not let the Mavic crash into me. And then I turned around and I flew back and I said to him, the Mavic won't fly into the ground because of the ground sensors. And yeah, as karma would have it, it flew straight into the ground, as you see in the video. But I don't know why. It shouldn't have. All the sensors were on, everything was working. I don't know. There was a glitch somewhere and something just went wrong. But that's karma for you. And yeah, life lesson and Mavic lesson. Okay, with the battery removed, we are going to remove 10 screws. So there are 4 at the bottom and there are 6 on top. So let's start with the bottom ones. We're going to fold these 2 arms out. It's easy with the props and obviously the battery removed. Then we'll start with this little cover. Unfortunately I had to remove mine because all the skins I had on here I had to remove now, which is a little bit sad, but unfortunately necessary. So you would just stick the pry tool in underneath and you'll be able to get that cover off. Same with the other side. And in the front there is also another. These are all 1.5 hexes. You leave the gimbal cover on. You don't want it flopping around even worse than it is. So you remove this side, you do the same on the other side. Wait, flip the baby over. Put those arms back. And we then remove, it's easier to see if I take those out. We remove 6 over here. So we got top ones there. Just move it so I can see. Now why are you coming with me? You're being a little menace. Right, so we got 4 there, and we also got, fortunately, to remove the back skins here too. So there's 2 over there, so you got 6 in total. And you take the pry tool and you lift this back up slowly all the way around. Up to about halfway. Then you'd lift the craft up, because in the back here is the GPS unit. You would then take your pry tool. You'll see there's a white plug inside there. My pry tool is not long enough, so I'm just going to use a flat screwdriver. and you'll see a little white plug there. There we go. It's out. And you just keep going around with your pry tool. Don't go all the way to the front, because those hinges there, actually it sort of hinges up, so you don't want to mess too much with those. You sort of get those out of the body right there, and you'd see there's that white plug. The whole thing will just hinge forward, and there we go. Then there's where the GPS module was. Then you would use a Phillips head. You got 4 screws to remove here, so you got to remove that one, that one, that one, and that one. And then also you got the power cable over here. So the first thing you would probably just remove would be the power cable. And note where it comes through, so that you can put it back the same way. And what you would also have is a silicone on these connectors here. So you just cut, not on the wire itself, just next to it. Just to make sure that you could pick up that clip there, that wiring harness, the little clip there, and you would need to remove, oops, that one there, and that one there. So once those four are removed, you could then go ahead and remove that Phillips one, that Phillips one there, that one, and that one. Don't do those. Those just hold the front positioning system in, the module, so you don't need to mess with those too much. So then you can just flip it over and pull the gimbal cover off, and then the gimbal, all going well, should just pull straight out. And just a little power wire, just make sure you where it comes out, and don't tug on it obviously. And there we go. So that's the gimbal assembly out. That's basically what it looks like. And yeah, this is normal. This is the way it actually does look. What happened with mine, there's the new gimbal plate, the vibration plate, and it fits on with 4 rubbers there, as mine still does, but unfortunately it broke one little corner broke off there, which is a little bit unfortunate. But also the ribbon cable broke, which is difficult to see, but it's broken over there. So there's a new ribbon cable, and that will do next. Okay. The next thing we need to do is to remove the stop board, and to do that you'll need to loosen this top connector first. Comes loose pretty easily, no big mysteries there. That comes loose. The second one is the actual gimbal ribbon cable. Mine is broken, so that'll just basically fall off. Then this board can be removed with the 3 Phillips head screws. 1, 2, 3. There, the board is removed. Put that one side. What I also like to do at this stage is just take a piece of tape just masking tape, anything, nothing too sticky. Just keep it over the lens so that scratches on the table or whatever, it doesn't get damaged. Now you would need to remove the actual, these little rubbers on the actual gimbal plate. You can now pull them off. There we go. And you then end up with the this dampening plate of mine is actually not too bad a condition. My problem is that this ear is broken off here, which there's the new one. You see it's got the 4 fastening points, where mine is broken off there. So now what you'd want to do is remove this plate. But now because my ribbon cable there is broken already, it doesn't really matter. But if your cable is intact, you always just break these screws loose one at a time. Otherwise, if you don't get the other one loose, you might end up moving the plate and actually then breaking the ribbon cable. So this is a little bit of a delicate one. So you would have to move that through. There's still a little bit of the ribbon cable fastened to it, but as it is there. Then I'm going to bring this up. So then you can see there's a attaches in there. There's 3 points where it attaches. So the ribbon cable attaches in there, inside there, and the bottom there. So what I'll do is I'll first remove this cover. Pull that one off. Pull this cover off. The top cover is like those 2 screws. There's also one underneath here. Now you might need a prying tool just to get it away from underneath that cable, and that just pops off. So what I'm going to do at this stage, I think, is easy. I'm going to hold it as it would be in the craft, this being the top, that being the camera facing. So you would have the cable clips inside there, runs around down to the back, and then there's actually a hole at the bottom there. The whole cable goes through there, comes back out the other side, and is then stuck all the way around the side there. It goes down and into that clip over there, because once you got it out, you could probably look at it and go, oh hell, where did that go? So maybe I can try and demonstrate a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be so easy. So yeah, that cable goes, so the best would fasten the bottom one first, fold it all the way around, and then you'd stick this whole cable through that slot and bring it all through the top there. But I would draw yourself a little diagram, a little picture, to make sure you get it exactly back where it, because once it is out, it can be a bit tricky to get it all lined up again. So I'm going to show you a couple of different angles, I guess, of where it actually runs. So let's remove it. The first one is a bit of a tape running over the top of it. So you can take that tape away. Just get the tool in there and unclip it. The other side. I feel like I should be telling some jokes or something, because it takes quite a while. You would leave that one, then you would do the second one, do that underneath there, then you would feed the whole thing through the hole. It is stuck down in quite a few places. So we just feed it through. All the way out, all the way around. Then you just need to get that cable out of the way, remembering that the actual ribbon goes underneath the camera's cable. Clip that out and put a glue on there. And there we go. That's a ribbon cable out. And that's the new one. So now you just basically do the reverse of what you took it out. And hopefully all goes well. Alright, now that it's all together again, you need to make 100% sure that everything moves pretty freely. The camera, the ribbon is not getting stuck anywhere, and that everything's in good shape. I've put the circuit board back again. It's all just a reverse of taking it out. Unfortunately, this took me a good 45 minutes to actually put together again. You've got to be very careful. You've got to make sure that everything is right. It's not for the faint-hearted. But in doing it yourself, it will teach you to be more careful and not crash it so often. This is my first time, so hopefully the last time. But yeah, I'm not going to bore you with the whole return again. I'm just going to do the absolute reverse of putting it together or taking it apart. And we'll see the finished product if it's all comes together. Also thought, while I do have the craft apart, I will show you the quick insides. There's the arms that come through. Motor wires run through there. They get soldered onto the board there. The front gets soldered on there. There's the two aerial wires that run underneath there. So there's an aerial inside the, and there's all that put together again. And in the back, there's your GPS unit, which clips in there. It would be nice if it was a bit longer, but it's not. Takes a bit of getting used to, but no big deal. And yeah, that's just having a, I can get it to focus properly. Looks inside there. In the bottom there you can see the actual fan that draws air through those vents. And now I guess moment of truth. And yes. Well, as you can see from that, it's not an impossible repair. It's pretty simple, but you need to take your time. You need to be in a nice quiet environment. You don't want to have people bothering you. You got to keep your head about yourself, and yeah, and don't let all the little screws get missing. But it'll teach you to behave yourself. I usually fly with one of these little gimbal protectors on it, and for some reason I didn't fly that day with it. I've had to cut it out a little bit because the gimbal wasn't a shot as you turn. But yeah, that was unfortunately. And now also quickly wanted to show you one of these new little things that I've found, and it really works very well. It's the gimbal cover, but let me walk around the table. As you can see, it's got two little pins that stand up, which actually go into the gimbal. So as the gimbal is there, you behind the actual gimbal, that little plate in there, so you'd actually slide those two little fingers in underneath there. Clip in the front. Unfortunately, the clip at the back is not as brilliant as what it should be, but here we go. And I mean, how simple is that? I don't know why DJI themselves didn't do it that way. They really should have, because that really will stop you from flying with the cover on, and pick up all sorts of gimbal problems. But look for that on eBay or wherever you actually shop. But it's very cheap, and I think that would be a real help. And when I ordered the parts for the ribbon and the plate, I managed to get some DJI caps as well, and I'll be giving those away on this channel right now. So what you need to do is please subscribe, put in the comment below DJI cap or just cap, whichever, and or any other comment, and I'll put that in a drawer, and I'll get my 6-year-old son to choose somebody. And yeah, your chances are pretty good because I don't have that many subscribers yet, so I think your chances would be like 1 in 26. So that's pretty good odds, I guess. Anyway, till later. Hope you're flying, and yeah, no, it's good. The Mavic's pretty strong. That was the only thing that's damaged. I flew it this morning just to make sure everything was good, and yeah, it's perfect. Good stuff, boys and girls. Cheers.